Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Katarina, and today we'll go through a vinyasa flow, which is a bit of a more dancey, slightly more creative flow. So welcome along. We'll start in a child's pose. So you can open the knees out towards the long edges of the mat, drop your hips towards the heels, and then you can extend your arms overhead and release the upper body over the legs. We'll take a few moments here as we arrive onto our mat, as we arrive into our practice. You can start to cultivate awareness in the body, dropping into the body, just starting to be a little bit more conscious of what's going on, how are you feeling, what's moving through you. So allowing just for a moment for yourself to settle here. We'll start to draw deeper inhales in through the nose and out through the nose. You can really feel the rib cages expand. Maybe the back of the heart expands as you inhale. And then exhale, fully emptying the lungs. Take one more big breath here. And then you can open the mouth and sigh the air out. Then with our next inhale, we're going to start to come off. As if coming onto all fours, we're going to drop the hips down, coming into a variation of a upward facing dog or a high cobra. You can just kind of sway from side to side here, opening through the chest. Good. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, come back into a child's pose. So as kind of like a wave movement moving through this motion. With our next inhale, again lifting up, dropping the hips slow into that variation of upward facing dog. Inhale and exhale back down into a child's pose. Well done. We'll do that once more, so lifting up. See if this time you can find a proper upward facing dog, so pushing the tops of the feet against the mat. Lifting up through the chest, pushing the mat away from you. Well done. Take an inhale here. And exhale. We're going to bring the knees onto the mat, bend through them, tuck the toes under, and start to lift the hips towards a downward facing dog. Well done. You can bend one knee at a time, find a bit of movement here. Checking in with the backs of the legs, the spine, making sure it's long. And just as we come into this first downward facing dog, check back in with your body. See where you can maybe find some tension. Keep taking full breaths. Well done. Then coming into stillness, we'll take one more full inhale. And exhale out. We'll then inhale coming into a plank pose. Bring your knees down and lower all the way onto the mat. We're going to inhale into a cobra. Exhale, come back down. With our next inhale, coming into a cobra and bending the right knee at the same time. As you exhale, pushing into a seat, so we come over towards the right side. We're going to open our right knee out to the side. Inhale the arms up. And exhale, fold over the left leg. Take a breath, inhale. Exhale. Take another inhale. And exhale. Coming back up to a straight spine, we'll bring our right hand behind us. And now lifting up into a gentle back bend. You can press your right knee and the right hand against the floor or the mat. Reach the left arm over, opening through the heart. Inhale here. And then exhale, sit back down. We're going to go back the same way we came, so turning back onto your stomach and release the right foot down. Good. Take another cobra, inhale. Exhale. With the second round, we bend the left knee. Inhale. And then come all the way up into a seat. You can shuffle around a little bit if you're too much off your mat. Opening the left knee out. Inhale the arms up. And exhale, fold over. We're going to inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold over. Doing that once more. Inhale. Exhale. Coming back up, straight spine. Left hand behind you. Reaching up through the hips. Open through the heart. Reach the right arm up and over. Gentle back bend. Take an inhale. And then exhale, sit back down. Turning back onto your stomach. And release the left foot down too. We'll take one more cobra. Inhale. Exhale. Then pushing back onto hands and knees. Tuck the toes under. And downward facing dog. Well done. Full breath in. And exhale out. We're going to turn our toes towards the left, heels towards the right, and take a really generous bend here through the knees. Good. Crouching down. Inhale. And exhale, push back up. You can straighten out the feet and then turn the heels towards the left, toes towards the right. Big bend through the knees. You get a nice bend through the right side of the body. Inhale. And exhale, push back up. Good job. With our next inhale, as if going through a wave motion, we're going to move into an upward facing dog. So through a plank, drop the hips low. Keep pushing your chest up and forward. Inhale. Exhale, stay here. With our next inhale, we're going to bend the right knee. And then exhale, sit down, just like we did from our cobra. From here we inhale, so keeping the right knee lifted. As you exhale, folding forward, see if you can bind here. If this is not accessible to you yet, you can also hold your fingertips on the floor or maybe just go towards the bind, even if you can't grab a hold just yet. Pointing the left toes towards the ceiling. Try to bring length into the spine. Take an inhale. And then exhale, we release the hands. We'll bring our left hand behind us, pushing down through the right ball of the foot, lifting into a wild thing. Reach the right arm over, open through the heart. Take an inhale. As you exhale, coming back towards the center, bring both hands onto the mat, hugging the right knee towards the chest, step it forward between the hands. Good, we're going to sway back and forth. Keeping your fingertips on the mat, dropping the hips down. Well done. Then bringing your left knee onto the mat, we'll reach the arms overhead. Good. Take an inhale here. And then with your next exhale, you can drop your right hand onto your right hip and reach the left arm over. So coming into a side bend here. Good. Inhale. Exhale, you can bring the left hand down, bring both hands onto the mat, tuck the left toes under, and we're going to turn towards the back of the mat, coming into a Skandasana. You can bring your hands to heart center, unless you want to keep them on the floor. And this might also look a bit more like this, so if you can't come all the way down, also if your heel comes off the mat, both are very fine. Finding your own version of this pose. Take an inhale. As you exhale, dropping the left hand on the mat, we open the right arm out. Good. Take one more inhale. Exhale, hands come down. We move forward towards the top of the mat. Both hands down, step into a plank pose. We can go through a vinyasa here, either with the knees down or lifted. Upward facing dog or cobra. And downward facing dog. Well done, take a full breath here. And exhale out. We then start to move our weight forward through that wave motion. So you can round through the spine, move the hips forward and down. Reach up through the chest, inhale. And exhale. We then inhale, bending through the left knee. And as you exhale, turning towards the left, coming to sit down on your bum. We reach the arms up, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward, maybe finding that bind. Once again, don't worry if you can't reach through the arms. Folding over, length through the spine. Good. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, undo the bind. Grounding the right hand behind you, we're going to lift up into a wild thing. So pressing down through the right hand, the left ball of the foot, inhale. And then exhale, bring both hands down, hugging the left knee in towards the chest and step it forward. Good. First, keeping your fingertips on the mat. See if you can keep the right knee lifted. Maybe just sway back and forth, finding a bit of space in that right hip flex. Well done. Then grounding the right knee down, we'll inhale, reaching the arms up, coming into Anjaneyasana. Release the shoulders down, chest reaching up. Inhale. And exhale, the left hand drops down onto the hip. We reach the right arm up and over. Good. Take an inhale. And exhale, releasing both hands down onto the mat. We lift the right knee off the mat and start to turn into a Skandasana. So see how far you want to go. Do you want to stay a little bit higher? Lower all the way down. Do you want to keep your hands at heart center? Or find a bit of extra support from the mat or the floor? Inhale. And open the arms out. Opening through the chest, keep the shoulders low. One more inhale. And then exhale, start to find your way back towards the top of the mat. Step into a plank pose. Knees lifted or lowered down. Upward facing dog or cobra. And finally, downward facing dog. Good job. Take a full breath here. And exhale out. With our next inhale, we'll come forward into a plank pose. Now bring your knees down and lower the whole body onto the mat. We're going to inhale into a cobra, pulling the shoulders back. Exhale, come back onto the mat. We're then going to lift our hands off the mat, cross them behind the head, lifting up through the chest as we inhale. And then we're going to start to twist towards the right. So the left elbow moves towards the mat. We start to turn onto our backs, hands still crossed behind the head. You can keep your right knee still pointing towards, that would, I guess, now be the left side of the mat. And find a twist. Now we can also release our hands. You can bring your left hand onto the right knee if you like. And maybe you also start to bend the left knee, perhaps grabbing a hold of that foot with your right hand. You can turn your gaze towards the right over the right shoulder. So this is cat chasing its tail pose. You can also, if this feels a bit difficult, if it feels like the left foot is quite far, you can also release that. Just extend your right arm over towards the right. Good. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, start to turn back onto your stomach. The style is free. Good. We'll inhale, coming into a cobra. Exhale, lower down. Then bringing your hands behind the head, inhale to lift up. And see if you can turn the right elbow all the way towards the other side of the mat and start to turn onto your back. You might come off the mat, that doesn't matter. So the left knee pointing towards the opposite side of the mat. You can release the hands, maybe resting your right hand on the knee and perhaps bending the right knee and grabbing that foot. You can turn your gaze towards the left and breathe. See if you can release your shoulders onto the mat. Take one more inhale. And then we release the right foot. Start to turn back onto your stomach. Take one more cobra inhale. Exhale back onto the mat. We'll push back onto hands and knees. And now finding a child's pose again. So you can open the knees out towards the long edges of the mat, just like we did in the beginning. Reach your arms forward and rest your forehead on the mat. Dropping back into this moment, into this space. Relaxing and releasing through the entire body. Keep taking deep and steady breaths. And taking a moment just here in stillness, which often feels considerably easier after a bit of movement. Somehow our thoughts start to slow down a little bit, all the chatter kind of gets drowned out a little bit, and it feels easier to be in that silent and still place. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, we'll start to roll the spine back up into a seat. You can bring your knees together. Straighten out through the spine. You can roll the shoulders back and down. Bringing your hands to heart center when you feel ready. And we'll take one big breath in through the nose. See if you can hold on to it at the very top for just a few seconds. And then opening the mouth, you can sigh it all out. Beautiful. Bowing your head towards your hands. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. I truly hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do subscribe to my channel, leave me a like, maybe let me know in the comments what you thought of the flow, or if there's any flows, any types of practices that you'd like to practice with me. I really love hearing all the comments and ideas in the comment section. I post a new flow every Thursday, so I really hope I see you here next week as well. Thank you.